I did not say that. I said pick a clean playlist. And you pick one that
What's going on, everybody? What day is this? And it's your Kelly right here on Kasual Konvo. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I am. And I'm only doing amazing because of one person that is one we are about to get thanks to. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. We thank you for granting us an amazing day. We thank you for giving us with this amazing opportunity. We thank you for bringing us with this opportunity to be right here on F2G Radio Network. Look, y'all, it's a lot that's been going on. Whole lot. When I tell you, people don't know which way to feel about whatever, it's a lot. I actually had all plans on tiptoeing and tapping into national news. But let's be honest, I don't think anybody else needs to. Like, you can literally go on anything, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, turn your TV on, turn your radio on, and hear what's going on, hear everybody's opinions. Of course, I have my own opinions. They are definitely going to be different from yours. However, they could be the same as yours. Either way it goes, it's your personal opinion. Can't really do much about that. But what we are going to talk about today is how we going to move forward in our personal mindset, not pertaining to the situation, just you as an individual. Kind of tiptoed and tapped on it a little bit when we were talking about just different ways that you can take care of yourself and just different ways that you can focus in on you. I actually decided that today I was going to just discuss more of that, focusing in on myself, giving you guys ways that said that you can focus in on things for yourself and just moving forward. At the end of the day, excuse me, at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is literally just knowing the best thing that works for you. I'm not one that likes to speak anything over myself, but what I do know is that I acknowledge things that come across, come up, when I need to probably slow down, when I need to just keep going. I'm still working on that slow down piece, y'all. Look, this girl don't really know how to slow down, but I am trying to figure it out. I am trying to figure out how not to have so many things on my plate that I don't know left, right, up, or down. But I think because I've done this for so long in this way that when I do try to slow down, it kind of makes me feel stagnant, which is not always a good thing. It's the thing where they say, stay busy or stay productively busy, because you can be busy and going nowhere, you know. But for me, I am productive and I am busy. I still deal with, my own uh, quote unquote health situations that I don't speak over myself because God already is taking care of that, so I have no reason to. However, the flip side of all of that is The flip side of all of that is that I will need to figure out how to just focus more on things pertaining to me. But look, I want us to get all the way into it. Before I do that, we're going to jump and take a quick break, and then I will be right back with you. And then, hey, we get right back into it. All right, y'all. I'll be right back. I don't know how many of y'all like to step or do a little, whatever, whatever. But this right here just put me in a whole stepping mood. This is my kind of music, so I hope it's yours too. I'm just saying. But look, we're gonna jump back into it. I kind of want to touch on a few things where, we're talking about things that you can do just to kind of take care of yourself. Self care tips, I guess we can say it that way. But not just, those normal go to the spa and take time for yourself and um, release your stress and meditate or, yes, all those things are great. All those things are um, perfect to put in your list of things to do. But when you are a person with a full schedule, when you are a person with um, children, if you're a single parent, if you're not a single parent, um, if you have a career and you're an entrepreneur, or you have multiple businesses, even if you're not an entrepreneur and you just work in corporate America, you know, um, these are their difficulties. I really don't like to say difficulties, but let's be real. Sometimes it's a little difficult to try to figure out how to just wind back and have that personal self care time or that personal mental release or that um, just that personal time. It's not always the easiest thing to do. Now, I'll say again, I'm still learning how to truly do all things for myself. The sad part about all of this is while everybody is trying to do these things, we still have to deal with outside noise. Um, and it's not just those things that I mentioned because you're busy or you're working or this or another. No, you still have those outside noises, that we can't always shut off. Me personally, I'm trying to find ways to just maybe cut back on some hours. The fact that I have um, several hats that I wear kind of takes me to a different aspect on how to do that. I love spas. I absolutely love spas. I would be that person that would try to go to a spa every other day if I could. Just being so very honest with you. But let's be honest with just being honest with myself, I can't do that. I can't go to a spa every week, let alone once a month. But the idea of it is amazing. The desire to have it, because that right there lets me know, hey, you know what? I'm going to put this in my to-do list, even if I can't go but maybe once a quarter. For those of you that don't really understand what a quarter is, that's 3 months out the year. Starts in January. From January to March, that's a quarter. So basically every 3 months counts as another quarter. There are 4 quarters in a year. So if that means I have to pick one day out of the quarter because I can't do it how I would love to do it, then that's what I need to do. Rephrase. That's what I will begin doing starting next quarter, which is July, which also happens to be my birthday month. Woo! Shameless plug for the birthdays. Happy birthday to everybody that's in July. We're going to throw that out there in advance. But those little things like that actually they can be mind blowing. Again, for those people that work in corporate America, you may have more of a opportunity, but let's just say you work in corporate America and you have children and you're a single parent. It's it's not always the easiest. Now, when I say a single parent, let me put this out there. That goes for mom or dad. That doesn't mean because the other parent just isn't around and they don't want to be. Anything could have happened. You got to keep in mind, we've had COVID. So a lot of people have had a two-parent household that no longer have that. And that right there is a situation or a stress. Or, for whatever the reason could be. Your parent could be in the military. Well, that means you have both your parents, but unfortunately one is away because they're in the military on whatever assignment that they're on. You don't have them at home. So yeah, it makes it a little more difficult. Well, sometimes you can find those little things like just creating that moment in the house, giving your children the same thing that you're doing. What does that mean? That means creating a special spa day to where, hey, what if you have two girls? If you have two girls, set them up in their rooms, to where they can have, their little things and they can have a little spa time and they're together while you can actually step away, still being present, but taking your time as well. The reason that I say it like that is because a lot of times your children do what you do before they really do what you say. So if they see mom or dad taking that time because they're just relaxing, doing self-care, doing self-reflection, understand they're going to pick up on it, and they're going to pick up on it at an earlier age than, say we have. It happens that way, which at the end of the day can be a huge blessing for them as well as for yourself. Excuse me. Now, for those that are, uh, ones that are serial entrepreneurs, as well as work in corporate America, as well as have children at home, even if it's a two-parent household, understand that you can still do the same thing. A lot of people assume that you automatically have to have a whole lot of money to just go on these self-care times. No, surprisingly, you could do something as small as I'm about to go get in my car, or just walk around the block, or just sit outside in the backyard or on the front porch and just take 5 or 10 minutes. Rotate. Mom, you go out first. Dad, you go out next. Let the children go in the back. Let them go in the basement. Let them go in the bedroom. It doesn't matter. Self-care time can literally be cooking. Now, for me, that's one of my things. I love to cook for my self-care time and clear my mind. I love to clean up. And as so many people know, I love to do anything with my hands. So organizing is a whole relaxation mode for me. That's surprisingly to others my personal self-care time. I don't really have the opportunity to just rephrase. I don't allow myself too much of an opportunity to just go different places because I have such a full schedule. I will not change my schedule because my schedule was given to me. Every assignment that I'm on is not an assignment just because I have nothing else to do. I pray about everything that I'm doing, and each time it's approved is what I'm moving out on because that means I'm doing it for a reason bigger than myself, which means at the end of the day, I'll still be able to have the care I need for myself. That doesn't mean I won't take time to just sleep a little later or go to bed a little earlier or and still probably wake up early but shut my office down even if I'm just going upstairs to read a book or talk to my sister for 4 or 5 hours in the middle of the night. That's still my time, to where I can do these things and I'm happy with it. I'm okay about it. And it's not adding stress, it's actually relieving it. It allows me to stop thinking about what needs to be done, what are my deadlines, what's on my to-do list, have I completed my to-do list, um, what haven't I addressed. All of these additional things that I am one that continues to do it. I continue to think. It's like my brain does not shut off on what needs to be done, how can it be done, has this been done. I give myself deadlines on top of a deadline that's already having a deadline. That sounds like a lot, but for me, it's that get to it, get it done, and go to the next thing. Surprisingly, that those are little things that allows me the opportunity to say that I can shut my office down earlier. Those are things that grant me those abilities to spend a little more time talking to my girls. You know, um, I was asked earlier today, how do you balance being uh, a publicist, a journalist, an entrepreneur, etc., and a parent? Well, I learned how to include it, but I'm blessed enough to say that my children are now young adults. But at the same time, they will tell me in a minute, no, 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 this is my time. This is, I need you to stop all the way, and it's all me. And it works. Okay, that means it's time to shut everything else off, not care about anything that needs to get done, and give them that time. But that allows them to have their self care time with their mom because they need to just communicate. You know, these are all different things that you can really do. Now, I know I kind of jumped a little bit because I went from being in corporate America to being an entrepreneur um, and a parent, as a combination. Well, I hope some of the tips that, combining your time and their time, but still separating it kind of helped. My nana used to say her self care time was making cookies with her grandbaby. That was fun for me too. It was only two of us that she did that with. There was, other ones that she cleaned up with. There was other ones that she did sewing and different activities. That was her self care time that actually dwindled over to us. And it's things that we still do. I don't sew anymore, but I'm pretty sure if I was to go and get in front of a machine again, that would be something else I would pick up because it's something that I was taught at a young age on how to just decompress. It's probably the best way to say it. Just finding my own personal way of decompressing and loving every aspect of it without a problem, you know. I think a lot of times people will um, use the excuse of not having time to really take care of themselves, but on the flip side, not really knowing how. So when you use the excuse of, I don't have time to take care of myself, I only have time to do this, this, that, and the other, then I think at the end of the day, that can hurt you um, more than anything. And that's probably one thing you never want to do is just have the excuse of, I don't have time. I can say that honestly because that's one thing I always did. I always said, I don't have time. I always said I don't have time to literally do something as small as just doing my nails um, at home, like polishing my nails. Well, my first priority was I need to go to work, I need to come home, I need to take care of my daughters, I need to make sure homework is done, laundry is done, etc. So I made so many excuses to why I didn't have the time to just have those 5 or 10 minutes to do something as small as sit in a tub with some candlelight and decompress. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's understandable because if you don't know how to do it anymore, then you have to figure out a different outcome. So hopefully, what can be done is you can find a way to just you can find a way to just stop and breathe. Start with something as small as that. Stop and breathe. Even if it's at your desk, no matter what desk it is, office desk, um, conference room, it doesn't matter. Just stop and breathe. So if you're saying, I don't have time to do this, I don't know how to do this, taking those small, minute steps will eventually get you to where you're now saying, oh wait, I can go from taking a moment to stop and breathe to taking a moment to um, go outside and have lunch outside of the office, or um, not actually having your lunch or your snack or even your breakfast at your desk reading emails. No, you're actually stopping and you're stepping away from things that don't make sense for that moment. They don't matter at that time. And I feel like I think, the best way to even have your children do this, school age children, you know, there's a school where they actually have students stop taking class. Oh my gosh, I wish I could remember the name of this school. I'm going to definitely find it and post it up. But there's a school where they actually have the students stop their schoolwork and go and meditate. That way, it helps to control a lot of uh, extra that happens. Um, they actually they had in their stats where a lot of students who were fighting, who were hyperactive, who couldn't concentrate. It actually enhanced their ability to pay attention and actually pass their classes, pass with amazing, B's, A's, and B's. Very few of the students had C's, but they did this every day. And that wasn't something that was just, you know, oh, well, this is done because we're having lunch. No, 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 no. This was actually done as just a way of helping them to calm down through the day. So, not everybody has a child that's at a school like that, but your child can do something as small as just take that moment and just breathe, just not so much of stressing what's happening. I remember when I was in school a while ago, I used to do that before a test. I hate taking tests. Listen, to this day, I still cannot stay on taking a test. Hate it. But the only way for me to actually be successful with my test was before every test, I had to just stop and kind of meditate a little bit without actually understanding that I was meditating. To me, I was just trying to forget all of the stress that was about to go along with me taking this test because I hated taking tests. Couldn't stand it. And it helped. It helped me to actually be able to get through it without having this extreme anxiety. Our children still go through a lot of extreme anxiety when it comes to something as small as taking a test or talking to another student at school. Heck, adults go through it when it comes to something as small as actually just meeting someone different, um, doing a presentation, speaking in public. Let me explain something to you guys. Being very transparent, I don't like speaking in public. Yes, I am on the radio. Yes, I am an entrepreneur. Yes, I'm a publicist. Yes, I know how to train you to do all of it perfectly beyond your own expectation. I don't like doing it. I've never liked doing it. Now, do I know how? Yes. Do I know how to do it effectively, properly, professionally? Yes. Doesn't mean I like it. So before I do it, I literally have to go through these same steps. I have to retrain myself. I have to release that whole anxiety of, okay, I'm about to be either in front of people or I'm about to have people listening to me or, any of these different things that truly cause anxiety. But on the flip side, after it's done, it's like, okay, it's done. A lot of times, just doing small things like that is another form of self-care because now you're giving yourself the mental self-care. You're giving yourself that reassurance that you're okay. You're giving yourself um, the ability to relax your own mindset, giving yourself that mental, giving your mental health that time to just find that calm. Um, Finding that calm is most definitely needed, and acknowledging that you need that calm. So hopefully those were some tips that kind of helped, when it comes to literally the corporate, the entrepreneur, the children combination, the entrepreneur, the children combination. And then we actually have where you don't have any children and it's just you're an entrepreneur that just keeps on going. So those kind of still work the same way. They kind of still um, can fit. The only difference is you're really more focused on you. Now, a lot of times people kind of go into this part when it comes to just you. I'm an introvert or an extrovert. Either I like being around people or I don't like being around people. Either I stay busy because I just need to remain busy, or I stay busy because I have nothing else to do. Those are actually things that um, you kind of need to figure out when it comes to being an introvert or an extrovert. Or heck, you might be a combination of both. Sometimes you can be. I think I am. So I fit a lot of these categories that, really just make you need to, or allow you to just see what's best fit for you, taking time for yourself, and actually embracing and enjoying every aspect of the journey. So, again, I hope some of these tips are helping y'all, because they definitely helped me. So, yeah. But we got more to talk about. In the meantime, in between time, stick with us, enjoy some good music, and I'll be right back after this break. shout out to my engineer. Look, I have two really dope, amazing engineers. Shout out to Tennille and shout out to B Snow. I'm just saying. They will set this stuff right. They got me over here ready to do some stepping. They got me over here ready to. Oh my gosh, I love my team. You guys are so awesome. But okay. So look, I know we kind of kicked this off on the whole self-care thing. Mainly because, like I said, it's important that we all know how to kind of take care of ourselves, how to relax, how to really find a way to turn off the noise, how to find ways to just decompress and find ways back to yourself, even in chaotic situations and or just situations, period. Don't have to be chaotic because being by yourself, you can have situations you just need to decompress from, you know. So with all of that being said, literally it was so very important that I shared that. Again, my main reason for sharing it is because these are things that I am not only working on, but these are things that in today's time we all need to just focus and hone in on completely. Yes, respecting yourself and your time, just truly embracing who you are, praying, writing in your journal, checking your circle, decluttering, the things that are toxic in your life. Um, just really, truly paying attention. I actually I had to figure out what that really meant when it said to declutter the toxic things that are in your life. I, to be honest, would think of the outside things, like, oh, so I won't go here or I won't go here because those are bad situations to put myself in and I don't need to do that. I didn't really take it to the point of decluttering what I consider a circle. Those fall in line of people, not just places or things, but ideas. Literally decluttering, reevaluating what needed to be and how and why it needed to be that way. That took prayer, that took silence, that took journaling, that took speaking to, being transparent and honest with that person that you can talk to about anything. Now I know that's the hardest thing really to do, is to find that person that's probably not a therapist. I'm not against therapy at all. I plan on finding one. But you also have that person. I'm blessed to have that person that they truly God sent, to where they explain a lot that even somebody at my age still needed explaining to, on what certain things meant, and help to reevaluate what was a toxic or situation, and it's it was a much needed breath of fresh air, to be honest with you. you know Now, I'm not saying that I'm done decluttering, because I'm not. It took a long time to become cluttered. you know it took a lot, and cluttered may be a very I guess dramatic way of saying it, but I say, I'm so sorry, y'all. I say cluttered because if you think of things like, I don't know if people have seen the show Hoarders, where they just have to have all this stuff and it's just consistently piling in and piling in and piling in, to where technically they've hit this point where they don't know which way to turn. They're not sure what's the right thing to do, what's the right move to make, and they're kind of stuck, even though they feel like they're still moving forward. Well, even though that was based on things around them, the same thing can happen with people or places. That can literally be your clutter. And you have to find those ways to, one, actually see what it is, if they fit that clutter, or if they fit, you know, that movement that you're placed on. And, you know, to be honest, those are things that are hardest. Um, I used to be a person that held on to every small thing because I felt like it was a much needed memory. Um, I held on to friendships because I consider myself loyal. And if I've been friends with you since I was a child, even though I may not see, or I may personally see that we are not in the same place spiritually, emotionally, uh, physically, financially, mentally, but I don't want to break off from that because I don't want to be looked at as, disloyal, or, fake, or, whatever could be used. Instead of looking at it saying, no, we've had this time together. We were perfect at this time, but now we both moved to a different stage in our life to where I don't have to um, be, or have to consider you non-relevant, but I'll just respect you and love you from a distance now. Well, I've just decluttered from, this situation, because that means now I just made room for the things or the person or the places that God is aligning me to. Everybody can't go. And that goes for me too. When it's someone else, I expect for you to just be able to say, hey, you know what? Everybody can't go. We're not all going the same way. So, yes, it's okay to declutter from people, places, and things. These are things that are needed to be done. And again, all of these, to be honest with you, all of these are things that are self care. You have to be able to say, I love myself enough to walk away. You have to be able to say, I love myself enough to not allow any outside energy, especially negative energy, to destroy my positive. If you get enough negative energy, I don't care how positive you are, it's going to eventually turn you. And you will not always know how it happened or why it happened. And you can't become that trash can. I was that person too, where I listened to everybody's problems, and I was like that dump. They could just dump themselves on me because I always wanted to help. I want to help. I still love helping. That ain't changed. But now they're clear. They've released everything. But now I'm trying to figure out, how can I help fix 7 or 8 different people's situation when I still have my own. But when it turned around and I needed to speak on some things, or I needed to release, I didn't have those. That right there is a perfect example of, you know, acknowledging when it's a one-sided relationship and just removing yourself from toxic relationships. I'm gonna be honest when I say this. That same thing can go with siblings and parents, cousins, friends. Um, you sometimes just have to truly just remove yourself. I can love you from a distance. I can still check on you without allowing you to dump on me. I can still care about you without putting myself in a bad situation. And focus on what God has for you. Pray about it. journal about it, you know, remove yourself from toxic situations, declutter your clutter. And then be willing to just truly rejoice on it. Um, but if it can talk, if you have, yeah. A lot of ways to, a lot of times, let me phrase that. A lot of times, you can forgive too easily. I think that's a good way to say it. A lot of times you can forgive too easily and not forgive what you need to. So I know I kind of just did the whole, pray about it and journal about it and declutter your clutter and um, work on atoning, or I'm sorry, work on um, forgiveness without forgetting. That's another thing. You can forgive without forgetting, which means you can forgive the situation without putting yourself back into that situation to have to repeat it and do it all over again. Um, these are, when I say so vitally important, they're more important than honestly going to a spa. They are more important than finding that. When I say they're more important, not saying that you shouldn't do these things, but they're truly more important than any of those outside sources, because one, this is literally working on your mental, your spiritual, your emotional, which once those are fixed, those are addressed, they actually can help to fix your physical and your financial. Just being real. You, if you're financially cluttered, or if you're cluttered, or you know you don't think that journaling something or finding that secured circle is for you. Well, you know I think it's for everybody. I can't sit here and say if it's not for you then just don't do it. No, I really think it's for everybody. I truly believe that something as small as those things are huge for any and everybody. And I'm not trying to push any um, demand on someone, but what I am saying, or what I am sharing, is things that it's not only from me, but it's been plenty of research done, plenty of therapists tell you to do it, plenty of doctors tell you to do it. Um, depending on what your spiritual belief is, your spiritual mother or father, I'm pretty sure they've said it, and it may not have been verbatim of how I'm sharing it, but at the end of the day, it's been said. If you really think back, then you'll probably remember a time that someone said, "Hey, do you journal? Hey, do you pray? Or hey, you still hang out with this person? You still got these things in your house? Like, why?" You know, um, you still go to that place? Like, that's the place you still go to where everybody keep fighting at? Or every time you leave there, somebody has something to say? Or if you don't show up at this friend's event, then you're really trying to figure out if they're your friend because now they just said everything under the sun that's bad, you know? Or uh, you start a business and you support everybody else's business and you wonder why they're not supporting yours, you know? Or, um, you just, you take that walk, but or you don't have that car that's considered an A-list car, so you're looked down on, or you know you're not spending this amount of money for a gift for someone that you don't even know. These are all things that you eventually kind of sit back and you look at, and you've heard these things said to you, you know, over your years. I don't care if you're a teenager. Throughout high school, someone said something similar to this. As an adult, throughout the years, someone has brought this to your attention. At your job, someone has said something to you. Why do you keep picking up this person's assignment? Because they keep knowing that you're going to do it on top of yours while they are sitting up there taking the credit and not doing any work. Why do you keep doing that? You know that they're just saying they're your friend, but they're really not your friend because you feel like you can't be by yourself. You feel like this person was the first one to speak to me, so now I have to be loyal to them. No, 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 no. That's not how that works. Certain people will literally prey on someone's innocence or someone's passion to help or to move forward, or any of these small things. No, that's not a friend. That's a leech. That's a that's a venomous situation. That's something you need to declutter yourself from. That is a whole parasite. So, and understand again, those terms that I'm using, they do not just go for people. They go for places. They go for things. They go for your own mental idea. If you continue to be that person that speaks negative over yourself, you're manifesting that for yourself when God is consistently telling you, no, I have everything that is fruitful and abundant for you. But you're speaking, I can't, I won't, I never will. No, remove that. That's part of your self-care. Speak all life over yourself. Speak all positivity over yourself. Speak all the growth over yourself. Continue to understand that, God didn't put you here so that you can continue to see everything negative. No, you're here for a purpose. Find your purpose and hold on to it and embrace that and let that light shine. Some people need to just hear that one thing of you're almost there, keep going. Some people just need to hear, that just keep shining. There's no darkness that's brighter than the shine. That one beam of light is always going to come through any dark space. Be that beam of light, or find your beam of light and hold on to it. Don't ever let it go. These are things that are literally all part of your self-care. They're all part of your mental health. These are all things that not only are good for you, but they're good for your family. They're good for your children. Again, keep in mind, your children will do what you do before they listen to what you're saying because you're their first example. Even as adults, a lot of people believe that once your child turns 18 or once your child turns 20, they're no longer watching you. No, no, no. That's not true. They're still watching you. I have a 21-year-old who literally let me know I am still motivating her. That's a whole blessing because I didn't know that. So everything that you're doing, you find your own light, you find your own push, you find your own motivation. And I'm not saying that that's the easiest thing to do. But what I am saying is it can be done. And it's something that you should definitely hold on to and definitely give thanks for it. A lot of people don't understand that something as small as just waking up in the morning saying thank you, God, because somebody didn't wake up. That's mental health. That's self-care. That's that spiritual care. You know, something as small as just actually opening your curtains and allowing the light to come in, not artificial light, but the sunlight, and just saying thank you. These are all things that may seem small and minute, but they are literally all parts of self-care, self-love, self-evaluation, self-recognition, and they're things that we truly need every day. So I know we're coming to a close. I'm truly hoping that everything that I spoke and the tips that I provided will be a help to you in some way, shape, or form. Definitely keep in mind, continue to hold it in your heart that if no one else told you that, you're amazing, you are amazing. Keep going, keep striving, keep shining. You are almost there. Don't give up. I am so excited to have my guest for next week. I don't want to announce it, however, it will be announced on my page at Kasual Konvo. That's on Instagram and Facebook. Also, make sure you're following us on F2G Network and every page that's on there. Make sure you are following that too. Definitely make sure you are subscribing to patreon.com/F2G so that you can see all of the amazing and crazy behind the scenes antics that we do, as well as amazing teachings and so much more exclusive interviews. Definitely be sure to follow everybody's show. If you don't know whose show is whose, make sure that you are checking out the schedule that is right here on F2G.network. F2GRadio.net, to where you can see all of the amazing shows that are coming on F2G. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow is Get Lifted with Amber J. This one right here is always going to keep my spirits up, and I love to hear what she's talking about. That right there is one of the ones that I can say is my spiritual, mental uplift for the week, plus much more. So definitely make sure that you're following us, stay in touch. Oh, subscribe to the newsletter. You want to be in the know of what's happening? Subscribe. Newsletters go out once a quarter, so trust and believe. You want to make sure that you're getting yours, okay? If you are interested in being a sponsor or a donor for the station or any specific show, please make sure you reach out to info@f2gentertainment.com, or you can donate to our Cash App, which is $F2G Network. And keep in mind, I am looking for a co-host. So you can definitely put in a subject line, co-host. You can send an email to either info@f2gentertainment.com or justcasualconvo@gmail.com. There's so much more. So get that newsletter. Get to know. See what's going on. And join me again next Tuesday. All right, y'all. Be blessed. Bye.